everybody, welcome again to Andrew's Brew Tube. This is not a beer review. I'm still having some Citrophilia IPA from Lenny Boy. Again, highly recommended, definitely check it out. But this is not a beer review. This is a new series of shows I'm gonna put together that I've essentially I've called it the tap list. I love talking beer. Love talking anything beer related, beer YouTube, beer movies, TV shows that talk about beer, you name it, I enjoy talking about it. Of course, enjoying some along the way. So I figured I would put these topics and, lists and, different, pieces together and put them in a list. Not always in particular order, but certain, topics that I felt are important to me. Started discussions, see what other people think about it. If there's something I'm not aware of or other recommendations that, people may want to offer, I'm always for it. And for this week, I'm going to be covering a familiar topic to most brew tubers, beer YouTube channels. Now, a lot of people have put together other, lists of brew tubers that they enjoy and recommend, which is great. And I'm all for, checking out anybody and everybody who's out there and putting these, videos together and putting forth the effort. Cheers to all of you. It's, something that we do out of purely a passion and nothing else, and really is for me. I enjoy doing these, but this is a list of non-review related beer YouTube channels. So, it could cover breweries, it could cover other, home brewing, it could, as long as it's not something that reviews beer, like, myself, Better Beer Authority, Beer Geek Nation, Crafty Beer Reviews, you name it, the ones that are, everyone that's out there, not reviewers. So with that in mind, I've put together a few, and, I have essentially a top 5, but I have others that I certainly wanted to note as well. And most of these are brewery channels, but one in particular two really that are non-brewery related channels that I would definitely recommend that certainly touch on a lot of beer related topics. First off is just the Brewers Association YouTube channel is amazing. They post a lot on different topics or different talks that they give, any events coming up. I know currently the American Homebrewers Association conference is coming up. The National Brewers Conference is coming up. So they'll post a lot of videos talking about the events, who's going to be there, and they'll post recaps, and it's awesome. I mean, if you're a beer geek and beer nerd like I am, it's something you would certainly want to just go check out and see what they have on there. Another one is Chop and Brew. A lot of home brewing, growing hops, brewing different beers. A lot of the guys who used to be on brewing TV, are kind of have congregated to that channel. Mainly, I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name off the top of my head, and it's escaping me right now, so sorry about that. But again, another channel certainly would check out for sure. Couple of breweries that I also have enjoyed checking out in the past. Sam Adams also puts out some fun videos every so often, as well as Stone. Stone does still put videos out periodically, especially my favorite ones were when Greg Cook and Stumpy Joe Jr. were having kind of their shit fest, kind of fighting back and forth amongst beer reviews and preferences, and it was really funny. And at the end of it, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a fun little series of about 4 or 5 videos to go and check out. Came out a few years ago, pretty funny. So with that in mind, on my official tap list are the following. Lagunitas. Lagunitas is very active on their YouTube channel, posting a lot of events that they have going on, both in California and Illinois. They've also started posting videos on tasting notes. They post a lot of what a lot of us brew tubers are doing ourselves, and reviewing beers, talking about beer, talking about what their new releases are, and the kind of the notes, the pieces that they hope people pick up from the new beers that they're putting out. And it's really cool. It's enjoyable to watch. I check it out every once in a while. I'm subscribed to them, and cheers to them for that one. Next one is Goose Island. They aren't as active as some of the other ones on my list, but one of my favorite series of videos that I watched was I think it's now 13 part series, but 1 through 10 is all on one video, that goes through the entire process of Bourbon County Stout. And it's awesome. And then I mean, it goes through the entire process. For the first few parts, it does nothing about the beer. It is all about the wood that goes into the casks. It goes into the distilleries who are making the bourbon and aging in the oak barrels. So it doesn't even get into the beer aspect of it until later in the series, and I think that's awesome. It was so well done. I enjoyed watching it because Bourbon County Stout is still one of those amazing beers you have to get your hands on. You have to try if you haven't, because they do it so well, and it really covered a deep history. And then some of the later parts, some of the separate videos, went into a couple of the variants, the proprietor series that they usually only release in Chicago. And I think they did one specifically regarding their coffee one that they've done in the past. It's just a very fascinating series. They put out other videos as well, talking about certain beers and events and whatnot, but that specific series was just so cool. Definitely recommend to check out for sure. Next one is Dogfish Head. I know some people love them, some people hate them, but you know what? They've done something right for sure. They put out some very enjoyable beers, some attractive beers to a lot of beer drinkers, and their YouTube channel has definitely stayed active. They do a tasting note series, quick sips, I think is what they call it, where they'll talk about some of the mainstay beers, some of their seasonal bottle releases, but then they'll also do some that are related to different tasting room only, or their pub room, the Brewery and Eats down in Rehoboth Beach. They'll do certain specials on there. One of the funny ones was when they did the hot tomato based beer they called Hot Thoop. I thought it was pretty funny. But they also do these Ask Dogfish series where they'll answer questions from fans. So I mean, they're active in the right way on YouTube, and I thought it was really, really cool, and just fun to watch. Just always quick little videos, but certainly enjoyable. Going to the Carolinas on the next one. Next one is actually Nodre. Nodre Brewing out of Charlotte, North Carolina. They are very active in the fact that they put out a video every week, at least weekly, especially because they have a new release series that they put out a new taproom only beer every week. And they put a video out usually Monday or Tuesday talking about what that beer release is. They just got done recently on a series over the past maybe month or so of Girl Scout related cookie beers, not necessarily like ones that they put cookies in, but they made one that was chocolate, coconut, caramel. They did one that was mint. They did one that was kind of lemony. So I mean, it was very cool, and they themed them based off of those. So those videos that they do are really, really cool. Sometimes very quick. Sometimes they get a little bit added production to them, but if you want to know what's going on, that YouTube channel is always active, always there, putting stuff out all the time. So, it's another one I would highly, highly recommend. And last one on my list, last but certainly not the least, is Alchemist. For the longest time, their YouTube channel was pretty sparse. They had a few videos back when they were only doing Heady Topper. They would post a few videos here and there when they were doing their truck release series. But now that they've moved into the new location and they're able to put out more variety of beer, a greater variety of beers, they have definitely bumped up, you know, their activity on YouTube for sure. Anytime that they put out a new specialty can, you know, they are on there posting a video about the beer, pouring it, you know, essentially a mini, you know, beer review, talking about what they did with the beer, what they like about the beer, the history behind it. Because a lot of these beers behind, you know, besides Fokelbanger and Heady Topper, are beers that they used to brew, you know, back at, you know, their original brew pub, but they haven't been able to do for years because they were so limited in space. But now that they have this added space, they're able to get back to some of these recipes, and you can tell they're very passionate, very excited about it, you know. And for a brewery like that is, you know, so highly sought after and, you know, just so popular, to put out these videos talking about what they're doing, it just makes perfect sense why they're doing it. I mean, and it's, you know, all the different beers that they've put out, not always IPAs and pale ales, but they've been putting out red ales and stouts and, you know, a good variety of, you know, of beers since they've been able to go into the new space, sometime, I think it was last year. But again, definitely one to check out. I will have links to all of their channels down below, so certainly check them out. You know, show them some love, give them a subscribe, because, you know, we all do this regardless of if we're professional or amateurs. You know, we do it out of passion because we enjoy doing it. We enjoy talking about beer. So I hope you guys enjoy this series. If you think of any topics that you would love for me to touch on, feel free to leave a comment below. I'd be more than happy to go into it. I do have a good list of topics that I'm going to be touching on, hopefully over the next few months. So if you think of anything I haven't thought of myself, please leave a comment. Be more than happy to touch on it. And see you guys in the next video. Cheers, folks.